That's live. We don't see him. I think we're live.
I texted
Tom.
him. Are we live?
Yeah. Hey guys.
Holy cow, we are live. We are not sure what happened here. We have a new producer in Aaron Simmons, who you'll notice is a little bit blank right now. So we're not sure what happened, but right as we went live, Aaron disappeared. So I don't know. Anyway, but we are here. I thought we had two co-hosts, possibly three, but let's start talking to Zachary Brandevold, who may have to substitute by bringing Finn in as our third co-host tonight. But Zach, how are you today?
Today's pretty good. I'm excited. We get to talk about racing again and everything that went down over the weekend, and also get to hang out with you guys. Week was great. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last week, but I'm here now and I'm ready to get back into it. So, what about yourself?
Well, I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here as always, hanging out, racing, talking about racing. One of the things I'm going to start to show off with something right here, right now, okay, while we're waiting on this.
Sure.
One of the ways that you know when you have made it to the big time, when you are big time in whatever you're doing, whether it is sports or acting or racing or whatever, when your name becomes a verb, you have made it, okay? That is a sign that it is a big time, okay? So, with that being said, Ross Chastain, you have now made it. Uh-oh, is my screen sharing not working?
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, there we go. It's just delayed. We're delayed. So, Chastain, it's now a verb. See, right here. Verb. The act of getting run over, used up, doored, walled, or moved intentionally in a NASCAR event by a fellow competitor. Ross Chastain, you have made it. Your name is now a verb. So, not only do you have the cool nicknames, but you're a verb now. So congratulations to Ross Chastain for becoming a verb. I feel like there should be some award ceremony, or like he should get like a plaque that's shaped like a dictionary for that or something. But yeah,
I agree.
So yeah,
perfect example.
I'm starting off with that, and it looks like we got Aaron back. Welcome back, Aaron.
So sorry guys.
How are
do
you
not know what
Aaron?
happened. I don't know what happened. As soon as I hovered over the go live button, my computer just decided just to take a dump real quick, and my internet kind of went out for just a split second, then came right back on. Don't know what happened, but I guess I'm here now. Hopefully it will last longer than 4 minutes this time.
Okay, cool. All right, well, since we are all together, let's jump into the racing. Let's start talking about the truck race, okay? And I'm not sure what to say about the truck race, okay? We had zero green flag passes for the lead, okay? Ty Majeski starts up front and absolutely dominates stage one, led every lap. I think he won by either 3 or 4 seconds or something. It wasn't close. He looked like he was the truck to beat. He had a little trouble on pit road, so he didn't get a restart on the front row for stage 2. But in stage 2, you had an all KBM front row at the restart with John Hunter Nemechek and Chandler Smith. Now, I say this because that decided the race right there. Those two are up front. Chandler Smith gets the jump on kind of a controversial restart that we'll talk more about later. Chandler Smith leads every lap of stage 2, then holds the lead at the stage break, leads every lap of stage 3, and gets the win. So Chandler Smith advancing to the next round. But again, no green flag passes for the lead. None, zip, zilch, zero. And man, if Chandler Smith goes on and somehow wins the championship or something, you got to look back at this race and that restart in stage 2 and ask yourself, what if he had been penalized? What if NASCAR had ruled that a different way? Couple other storylines. as far as the standings and who should press the panic button right now. And I am saying, if you are Ben Rhodes, it is time to press the panic button. He's been talking all calm and saying, we got enough points to carry us through the first round and we're going to be okay and we're in better shape than we were last year. I'm sorry, Ben, that's great things to say, but you got to be pressing the panic button. You got to have some sense of urgency, okay? 18th place at Richmond, one top 10 in the last 7 races. He is 21 points above the cut line, so he'll probably make it through this round, but with the performance he's getting, I'm saying he doesn't make it out of the next round. So if I am Ben Rhodes, it is time to press the panic button because that ship is sinking in a hurry. Opposite, headed the right direction, Matt Crafton came in below the cut line, had a strong 7th place finish, left 3 points above the cut line. He's got to feel like he's headed the right direction. He is on his third crew chief of the season. So maybe they got the right combination there to get that thing figured out. But those are the big storylines I took away from the truck race. What do you guys see? What do you guys want to talk about from this truck race this weekend? Let's start with Aaron.
I think this is the first time in a very long time where a race at Richmond was kind of underwhelming. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of action on the track. It's pretty much just one driver leading the race and then just dominating said race. You had Tom and Jesse leading up front and then would not relinquish the lead for all of stage 1. Chandler Smith did the same thing for stage 2, and then stage 3 is pretty much just the same thing. And of course, in the back, not a whole lot of action happened. I think we had 0 cautions for the night, or 1 caution or something like that.
I think we had one because I think Carson Hocevar got into somebody.
Oh, that's right.
Fighting to
stay
on the lead lap and
33.
got into somebody.
The 33. He got into the 33.
Yeah, it's not Zach.
33 didn't leave him any move and any room, and he turned him.
So, and with it being a truck race, there was no strategy to play out. There was no, do I pit? Do I not pit? Do I split the stage? Do I do 1 stop or 2? There was nothing like that. So yeah, it was just, kind of not a lot going on there in the truck race that was really exciting. But Zach, give us your thoughts on the truck race.
Well, one thing that I saw was with the amount of boringness, I think that we can all agree was kind of in the race. If you had a fast truck, you could make your way to the front, right? So we saw the best guys up front all race. One thing that I noted was several of the guys who may have had a better starting position didn't hit their setup correctly, went back. Guys like Matt DiBenedetto and others, just could not run in the race and ultimately paid for it. So one guy that actually I was really surprised with was Ty Majeski. He has been running really well recently, and I think he's getting hot right at the right time with his performances at IRP. I mean, Richmond here, he has really impressed me because I don't think this is a guy that coming into the season we would say, okay, he's going to be a championship contender. So I think that's one guy that we have to watch and see what goes on with him. I thought he ran an amazing race. And like you said earlier, that restart with Chandler Smith, I think is going to end up being the deciding factor. If he does win the championship, that is going to be something that NASCAR has to look at and see, did they make that call correctly, or should they review it? So yeah. And to your point, Matt Crafton, even though he's above the cut line, man, I really think we still have to worry about him. Like you said, 3 different crew chiefs, right? And he has just not been having a great season. He made the playoffs by the skin of his teeth, and he is not doing well. I think he still gets knocked out of the first round, in my opinion. But we shall see. But those are my thoughts on the truck race.
Okay, let me show you. I'm going to show a picture here. This is the most exciting part of the truck race, okay? Right here, this is it. This is pre-race. This is on NASCAR race day. Now, I don't know why there's going to be a delay. What is that hat Carson Hocevar is wearing? What is he doing? I have no idea what is going on in this picture, but that was actually on NASCAR race day, Camping World Truck Series. Carson Hocevar being interviewed and being on television wearing that hat. What is he funding
it's a
his
pimp
racing
hat.
career by being a pimp on the side?
Yeah, it's a pimp hat.
What is the deal with this hat?
It's perfect.
Not a good look, Carson. Not a good look.
I think it fits his personality perfect.
I think Dale Earnhardt turned over in his grave when he saw that.
All he needed was a cane.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't have one.
White fur coats, a cane.
Didn't he have one from when he broke his leg?
Yeah, he probably does.
A cane, yeah.
I don't know if he's still using it.
Yeah, pretty much all he needs now is just a white puffy fur coat. That's all he needs, and there you go.
Yeah.
NASCAR's first pimp.
That right there, that was the most exciting part of the truck race right there. So anyway, let's get on to the Cup race, okay? I think we got a little bit more to talk about in the Cup race. It wasn't very exciting, to be honest, but compared to the truck race, it was like 4th of July fireworks exciting, okay? A couple of big storylines kept Kevin Harvick living up to his name as the closer, the man who we thought was done, who was finished, that we were putting dirt on his grave a couple of weeks ago, has now won 2 in a row. And living up to his nickname as being the closer, did not lead his first lap until lap 334 of the race. So he is truly the closer. Christopher Bell, coming from 1 lap down, he had a man over the wall too soon, had to do a drive-through penalty. The end of stage 2, or in stage 2, stayed out at the end to get his lap back, but was on old tires. But then, of course, we had Kyle Busch getting chastained at the start of stage 3, which played perfectly into Bell's strategy, which allowed him to pit, get fresh tires, be on equal tires with the rest of the field, and drove that thing from being 1 lap down to a second place finish. So extremely impressive run for Christopher Bell. Martin Truex Jr., he's the guy who is on the outside looking in right now, had a solid race, but not the type of race he needs if he wants to get into the playoffs. And what happened to Chevrolets? Okay. In qualifying, 4 of the top 5 were Chevrolets. At the end of the day, 1 Chevy in the top 10. So what happened to the Chevrolets? Don't know where the bow ties went when it came to be race time. But looks like we have lost Aaron again. So, Zach, you're up again. You get a lead off on this one, too.
No, I'm still here.
Okay, it says out of office. Okay, we're still going with Zach.
All right, so Richmond race. You know, one thing that stood out for me, I didn't even know what time this was starting out originally. And I was like, all right, I got myself prepared. I sat down and I was like, I was prepared to watch a night race like it has been many years before this. And then I realized the race was starting at 3 p.m. and I was very disappointed. Personally, I think that they should move this back to a night race. We shouldn't have 2 of the same races in the daytime, same time, just to make it interesting, you know? But overall, I think it was an okay race. When you look at it, you had, I think, a couple different teams that really kind of surprised people. RFK especially. When you look at it, Kevin Harvick, no one really thought that he was going to go back-to-back at Richmond, having come off of his Michigan win. But contrary to his Michigan win, I think Harvick got it done on pure speed. You could say that Bell had the fastest car late, but he also had fresher tires. I think Harvick had the best car pretty much all day, most consistent anyway, and he was very deserving of the win. So very happy for him. We got to start looking at what is going wrong with Truex, that he cannot win this season. And I think it's honestly pretty crazy. When you look at it, I think this is maybe his last realistic shot at getting into the playoffs. If you look at Watkins Glen, yes, he has success there, but Toyota as an organization has not done well in road courses this season. And then when you look at Daytona, yes, he won the first 2 stages of the Daytona 500, but history is not kind whatsoever to Truex on plate races. So it's really just a crapshoot as to will he be successful at Watkins Glen, and will he have the luck at Daytona if he could get in. I think if you're Ryan Blaney, you're really going to have to focus on points here, especially with how wacky stage points are and road courses. So that's something to look at for the upcoming 2 races, whether or not they go for the win or whether or not they go for points. But heading back to Richmond, yeah, I think it was overall a really good race. And I know that you mentioned earlier that Ross Chastain chastained people, but looking at the replay, I don't know if it was too much of a Chastain, normal Chastain move. Ty Dillon was on the inside. He was in the middle. I don't think he really had anywhere to go. I don't think this is a typical Chastain over aggressive move that we've seen previously this season. But I think it's something to look at. This is 3 Toyotas that he's pissed off the past 3 weeks. So will he get payback is the issue, before or after the playoffs start? So those are my thoughts for the Richmond Cup race.
Okay, well, most of that stuff we're going to hit in the green flag, red flag segments, but simoleons, maybe we lost simoleons. Man, simoleons, I don't think this webcam's working out for you, bud. I think we lost him. Speaking of roughing people up, how about Ty Gibbs putting the bumper to Kyle Busch, the 19-year-old kid putting the bumper to the 60-time winner and pseudo teammate here that he's running for a satellite team. I was shocked when they were showing the replay and Ty Gibbs was giving Kyle Busch the bumper early in the race. Speaking of roughing people up, but yes, Aaron, you are back with us. Give us your thoughts on the Richmond race. Aaron, you're frozen on our screen. There we go.
Well, while he's getting that together, on your point about Ty Gibbs and Kyle Busch, I think that this might be a sign for Joe Gibbs. He can run with the big boys. It's potential that maybe this is a sign that Joe Gibbs needs to see at Richmond, that maybe he could handle being in the 18 next year. Who knows?
We'll see. Aaron, can you hear us? Are you unfrozen? Can you give us your thoughts on Richmond? Well, Aaron, are you there? Okay. Well, he's gone again. All right. Looks like we are going to have to move on. So, Zach, we are hitting the news. So, Zach, this is your segment. Take us through the news stories here.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first news of the day, or actually our first 2 news segments are news stories are silly season updates. Our first one being Noah Gragson will drive for Petty GMS Racing in the 42 Cup car for 2023. Not very big surprise, but what are your thoughts on this, Tom?
I don't really know, because on the one hand, I've been so impressed with what Eric Jones has done in the 43 car that makes me think maybe that is, a little more competitive car than what I realize when you see what the 43 has done, and maybe Ty Dillon is the problem. The other side of it is, I always figured that there's all this talk that Junior Motorsports would eventually hit the Cup Series, and I figured Gragson was going to be Junior's guy if they ever went Cup racing. So I'm not sure. I think that if Junior Motorsports is 2 or 3 years away from going Cup racing, this is a great move for Noah to get up there into what is potentially a more competitive ride than what we are seeing with Ty Dillon behind the wheel. But if Junior Motorsports goes Cup racing in the near future, I think maybe it's a step back for him if he potentially could have had that ride with Junior, because I expect that if Junior goes, it will be a highly competitive ride. So it's one I'm not sure about it. I think we got to wait a couple of years here and let it play out to see whether this is a good move for Noah. I think it's a good move for Petty GMS. I really do. I think Noah's one of the premier drivers, has a lot of experience in the Xfinity Series. So I definitely think from the Petty GMS side, it's a good move.
Yeah, Marty Gallagher, owner of GMS Racing, or part owner of GMS Racing, he has committed himself to spending the money necessary to run an effective Cup team. So this just goes out, goes to show signing Noah Gragson goes to show that he is truly about his word. Ty Dillon has not really done well this season compared to his teammate. He wants a driver caliber similar to Eric Jones, being able to wheel that team. And I think, honestly, if they do, they really do have a shot at least one of the cars, if not both, making the playoffs next season if we continue to see the success that we see out of Eric Jones repeated for next season. So Noah Gragson already has Cup starts in Cup over the past 2 seasons. So, I don't think this is, especially with the next gen car now. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a hard transition for him. But ultimately, I don't think this is where Noah Gregson's going to end his career. I think he'll, like you mentioned earlier, Junior Motorsports definitely wants to get in the Cup Series, and they're a couple years away. So I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe Noah Gragson heading over there eventually or somewhere else. So, but honestly, good first start for Noah and great pickup by Petty GMS, in my opinion. Moving on to the next news story, Bubba Wallace and 2311 Racing have agreed to a multi-year contract extension to keep him in the 23 Cup car. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
We all know that Bubba Wallace is very popular and he's going to bring a lot of sponsorship money. So that part doesn't surprise me. The fact that he's had, I think, 3 or 4 straight top 10 finishes prior to the Richmond race was showing that he's starting to find his way in this new car. So the fact that you got those 2 things coming together at the same time, not a big surprise. I hope his performance continues to do well, because for a while there, he was really being outclassed by his teammate Kurt Busch. But glad to see that get done. And I really hope Bubba does well and continues to perform like we saw for the last month leading into Richmond.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him. I think this is exactly what he needs. He needs to have a multi-year extension, get that worry out of the way in the back of your mind of performing on a year-to-year basis. And, he has done really well, especially late this season, trying to get pushed into the playoffs here. Other than his IMS finish, I think all of his, finishes have been legitimate, on speed, and he's done really well over this past 2 months, honestly. Over the past, like I said, 2 months, he's done really, really well. So I think that's exactly what not only the organization needs in continuity, but also Bubba needs as far as multi-year. Get that out of your mind and go produce. So I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of the season with that off of his back, and potentially getting himself in the playoffs here. So I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
Moving on to the third news story, similar silly season, but it's pretty much already said and done. Richard Childress Childress is still fuming over Tyler Reddick's decision about leaving his Cup team. There was apparently Tyler Reddick and Richard Childress both talked after the IMS road course win, and publicly they both said that they put it behind them, but secretly it seems Richard Childress still wants him gone, even as soon as for next year. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
A couple things. First is we're getting this from a unnamed Richard Childress employee, so it's kind of almost a rumor, because it's not really all that confirmed. And 2, even if it is true, it's about as shocking as the sun rising tomorrow. You got a hot young driver who's able to win at an organization that has struggled to get wins and be competitive, and now he jumps ship for somebody else. I can understand why Richard Childress would be fuming. And I don't know whether it is the overall competitiveness of Richard Childress Racing, or if he's a little concerned with Childress's grandson being there, that he'll always kind of be considered the second driver, and maybe he won't get the best people and best equipment there. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I can't blame Richard Childress for all he's done to try to get that organization back to be competitive. And right when they get there, he's losing his hot young driver. So I don't blame him for being upset, but at the same time, I can completely see why Tyler Reddick made the move he did, because we're seeing there's just not that many competitive seats that open up that often. And when one opens up, if somebody offers it to you, you got to take it. So I can kind of see both sides of it.
Yeah, I mean, as a team, I think Tyler Reddick is really for essentially carrying that organization on his back with those 2 wins, and as well as he's done. You got to look at it, and Austin Dillon is still not locked into the playoffs here, and would not be in the playoffs, even on points, if we didn't have that many winners. So, not really good. But when you look at it as Richard Childress, I mean, I wouldn't blame him being pissed, but really all you have to be pissed about is pissed at yourself. And at the end of the day, Richard Childress has a history of not signing drivers to multi-year contracts. When you look at the Daniel Hemrick situation, and previous drivers, they don't have a history of signing their drivers to large contracts. But when you have a once in a lifetime kind of star in Tyler Reddick, one would think that you want to lock him down. And of course, you were waiting for that first win, but so were other teams, because they knew it was going to come. And you had the hottest young prospect on the market at just the right time. So I think I don't blame 2311 for picking him up. I think it's a very, very smart move. And I don't think Richard Childress has anything to blame but themselves for the mismanaging of contracts here, in my opinion. But moving on to the 4th and final news story, sponsors of NASCAR teams have received increased brand exposure from paint schemes this season due to the shifted numbers, according to Nielsen Analytics. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
My thoughts on this are, I've got a question. If the sponsors have got increased brand exposure, okay, and this is a good deal for sponsors now to put their name on a NASCAR machine because of how much exposure they can get, then why haven't we got a sponsor for Kyle Busch? Why isn't he signed? If this is such a great deal, then why do we have a Hall of Fame driver, probably as famous as anybody driving the sport right now, and he can't find a sponsor? So this whole idea that moving the numbers around to give the sponsors more airplay and a bigger value, I'm not sure I'm buying it, because I'm not seeing anything from Kyle Busch, and I really don't like it, the looks of it anyway. And I'm sorry, but I always knew that Smithfield was the sponsor of Eric Almirola, no matter where you put the logo and where you put the number. So I'm not sure that I'm buying that there's that much more exposure for the sponsors. But yeah, if this is so great, then show me who that Kyle Busch sponsor is for next year.
I mean, I don't argue with you on that. I don't know. I think in the beginning, when this first was announced, I didn't really like it very much. But now it's just kind of, it's there and it's inevitable. And we've had it for such a long time. In my opinion, I think it's now standard. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. The numbers moving forward, if these numbers are true, that's great. I think that's great for the sport. I think that's great for sponsors. We have seen an increase in new sponsors pop up, which is wonderful. So, if this is true, great. To your point about the whole Kyle Busch JGR situation, at this point, I don't know if this is a Kyle Busch thing or a JGR thing, just trying, whose side this falls on as far as what kind of sponsors they're not getting or attempting to getting. But at this point, it's pretty crazy. But I do agree with you that, we really shouldn't have a problem with Kyle Busch filling sponsors. It's, I think, down to a matter of what Kyle Busch is willing to take as a salary and what sponsors are willing to give. So we'll see what happens. But those are the news stories for this week. Pretty interesting, diverse news segment. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. So we are up to who's hot, who's not. And I am guessing that we're going to have to do this solo. I think Aaron has lagged out for the night. But as far as who's hot, who's not, I'm going to go first on this one since you just took us
Go
through the
ahead.
news. But who's hot? I'm saying global NASCAR is hot. Okay. When I say global NASCAR, I mean we are going to set a record this weekend at Watkins Glen. We are going to have drivers from 7 different countries participating in the NASCAR race at Watkins Glen this weekend. I keep saying, man, NASCAR is hot now. We got Formula One guys coming in. We got guys coming from Europe. We got guys coming from Mexico. NASCAR is suddenly the cool kids on the block with 7 countries represented when they wave the green flag at Watkins Glen. So I think that is great. And I'm saying global NASCAR is hot right now. As far as who's not, I'm going to say Chevrolets. 15 of the 36, 15, almost half the field, 15 of the 36 entries at Richmond were Chevrolets, one top 10 in Chase Elliott. And don't know what happened because they started off great. They had 4 of the top 5 qualifying spots. They had a Chevrolet win stage 1 in Ross Chastain. But at the end of the day, when they were waving the checkered flag, Chevy was nowhere to be found. So the bow tie brigade has some work to do coming out of Richmond. So that is my who's hot and who is not.
Yeah. So as far as my who's hot, I'm going to go with Bubba Wallace. 7.5 average finish over the past 6 races, best in his career so far. He's finished inside the top 5 in half of those races and then top 20 in all of them. So great little run Bubba Wallace is producing. Even this past week, I think he got like a 14th place finish or something like that. So really good for him, having one of his best runs in his career. Love seeing that out of him. And right when the momentum needs to hit as far as these last 2 races to get into the playoffs. So let's see what he can do. And as far as my who's not, I'm going to go with Hendrick drivers not named Elliott. Over the past 6 races, the Hendrick trio not named Elliott have only one top 5 and only 3 top 10s. Out of those 3 drivers, Larson's holds the best finish of 5th out of the group, only 5th place, while Elliott he holds an average finish of around 5th himself. So definitely not a good look for the other Hendrick drivers. I think Elliott's on a different level and definitely the championship favorite heading into the season. So yeah, those are my who's hot, who's not.
Okay, I want to go back to a couple of things we touched on earlier. Okay, we touched on Kyle Busch and a sponsorship, and we touched about Noah Gragson going to GMS. Okay, so let's tie those 2 together. Noah Gragson and a sponsorship. Okay, I got this. Noah Gragson, what's been going on with him while he's racing lately? He's been throwing up, vomiting in the car. Okay. Zofran and Noah Gragson. There you go. Sponsor, driver. Match it up.
Or Pedialyte.
That could work too. Could work. I'm saying work this, market this. Zofran, Pedialyte, Noah Gragson. I'm thinking that's the way to go. That's your sponsorship for next year.
Look, it worked for Josh Bilicki and the Sargento signed sponsor. It also helped that he was a Wisconsin native, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to connect the dots when you can.
Yeah.
But
okay, all right. Zach, green flag, red flag. Take us through this.
Sure. Awesome. Okay, so our first green flag, red flag of the day is going to be Watkins Glen is Martin Truex Jr.'s last realistic shot to get a win in the playoffs. Green flag for yes, red flag for no. What are your thoughts, Tom?
Red flag. This question needed to be asked last week when we were going into Richmond. Richmond was a track where Martin Truex Jr. had a string of, I think, no worse than a 5th place finish in the last 4 races. That was his win to get in. He's done. He's out. It's not going to happen. Let's just take a look at this. We are not at 2019 when he was a great road course racer. Okay. Here is what we've got going on with Martin Truex Jr. at the last 3 road course races, 21st, 13th, 26th. And oh, by the way, he's driving a Toyota, which have been abysmal at road course races. Right now, Martin Truex Jr. could consider it a win if he is best in class by being the first Toyota. Okay. At Road America, there were 0 Toyotas in the top 10. At Sonoma, there were 0 Toyotas in the top 10. At the Indy Road Course, there was 1 Toyota in the top 10. So he's coming into this with an average finish in the last 3 road courses of worse than 15th, and driving for a manufacturer that just can't seem to figure out the road courses. This is red flag. He is done. He is out. His win to get in chance was last week at Richmond. So yeah, it's over for Martin Truex for this year.
Aaron, are you back?
Can you hear us, Aaron?
Can you hear us?
Why don't you go ahead, Zach? Well, it looks like he's trying to get things set up.
Anyway, I'm going to go red flag, but for a different direction. Look, I want to remind our viewers of what we saw out of Christopher Bell at IMS. He arguably had the second fastest car, where Toyotas were a non-factor pretty much the entire race. And Toyotas have been abysmal at road courses all season, like you pointed out. Did they find something at road courses at IMS? Possibly. Sure. I think it's possible when you look at how well Christopher Bell ran before he blew his tire. I think arguably he probably could have challenged Tyler Reddick for the win, ultimately, until he blew his tire. But I'm going to say red flag because of this. Ultimately, it comes down to who has run really well at Watkins Glen. And I'm going to say it's both Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney in their careers. And I think with the different strategy that Ryan Blaney is going to potentially, he's either going to go for the win because he has a fast car, or he's going to go for points. Do I see Martin Truex Jr. beating Chase Elliott, or even the Trackhouse cars, or Tyler Reddick? Because they have been very, very, when you look at it, all the road courses this season has been won by a Trackhouse car or RCR, right? I don't see Martin Truex Jr. beating them, regardless of whether or not they found speed. He has a great record, but I don't think he gets it done. Then when you look at Daytona, like I alluded to earlier, he won the first 2 stages, and Toyota has been a force at plate race tracks in recent years. They've just been really, really, really good. I still don't see Martin Truex Jr. winning. I don't see it happening. It's possible, but Martin Truex Jr. has been awful at plate races, bar his second place finish with Denny Hamlin. I believe it was 2018 or something like that. That closest finish ever in Daytona history. He has not done well at all at plate races in his career. I just don't see he could get it done at either of these tracks. Like you said, I think Richmond was his shot, and I think it's come and gone. So I don't think he has a realistic shot to get into the playoffs at this point. But
all right, Aaron, what do you have to say?
Are you there?
Where there's a will, there's a way. I'll find a way, damn it. I'm currently on my phone right now. Because for some reason my computer just does not want to get internet for some stupid reason. Everything in the house does except for this piece of garbage. So
it's no
I'm currently on phone now, so I apologize for that. I'm sorry, but where are we?
Let me ask you the question. We're at green flag, red flag. Watkins Glen is Martin Truex Jr.'s last realistic shot at a win to get into the playoffs. Green flag or red flag?
I would say yes. Richmond was probably his best realistic shot to try and get in. Just because JGR has been so strong there. That's where JGR pretty much got their first win of the year this year. And so I thought Truex would kind of follow suit with his teammate Denny Hamlin. But historically Truex has been really good at Watkins Glen. Unfortunately, the road course package this year has sucked. It is garbage this year. So historically he's been good, but can he try to outperform his equipment and beat the likes of Hendrick and Trackhouse and I was saying this, but even Roush. So and that answer is going to be for me no. So I would say Watkins Glen, he has a shot to get in, but it's not realistic. So no.
Right. Well, there you have it. let's see. Our next green flag, red flag question is Chastain is at fault for his run-in with Kyle Busch at Richmond. Green flag for yes, red flag for no. Tom, let's start with you.
I've got a video to show here, so we can all take a look at this before we respond.
Let's do it.
Give me just a second here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And this is going to be the video of that restart. If it comes up here, we've been in a little bit of a delay when it comes to the screen sharing. So I'm wondering if some of your problems tonight are not maybe related to StreamYard, because I am supposed to be sharing my screen right now, but it's not coming up, is it?
Well, again, the producer has to put it on there, and I can't really see which one's going to.
There we go. Here we go.
Show here. Was that it?
Yep.
Nope, not the one.
Nope, wrong one. Back up. Other one. Sorry.
Yeah. Again, I don't see what's going on here. From my end, I have like 3 gray boxes. So
you got it now. You got it.
Issue with the right front suspension. The one car goes down in the corner, and there's contact on left rear quarter panel 18 of Kyle Busch. Kyle goes around.
So that was.
Here comes the 43 as Ross tries to slow down. Kyle goes around, car goes down in the corner, and there's contact on left rear quarter.
So that was the contact there. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
I think that was Ross Chastain's fault. When I look at that video, I look at the 42 that was underneath Ross Chastain, and I look at the gap between those two cars as they're going through the corner. Maybe I should do it this way. But I look at it, and it looks like you can see the gap with the 42 in the low lane and Chastain, the gap between those two getting higher, which tells me that Ross Chastain was coming up the track to get into Kyle Busch. So I am saying that that one is on Ross Chastain. So that's, I don't know if
Green
that puts
flag.
me, that is
Yeah,
green
green
flag.
flag.
I'm saying, yes, it was Ross Chastain's fault.
All right. Aaron, what about you?
I want to say that incident started with Ross Chastain, but I don't believe it was purely his fault. He had another car right below him, or so he thought. It was so close. And I guess from when the spotter was standing, he heard in his little radio that there might have been a car inside. Kyle Busch may have came down. Ross, assuming he had a car inside, but it didn't really go down. So I'm gonna say red flag. He wasn't completely at fault, but he mostly he was there when it happened. So I'm gonna go red flag. It was not really his fault, but he was there when it happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with red flag as well. I think this is a racing incident to me, anyway. You got somebody on your inside. Yes, Chastain does go a little bit up. I think you're trying to give a little bit of room, arc the corner a little bit better. But if you're Kyle Busch, you don't want to be shoved up into that third lane, or be that third car on the outside, because you're going to lose positions for sure, especially with how he entered the corner anyway. So I think it was a racing incident to me. I'm going to say red flag. I don't really think this is Chastain's fault. So yeah. For the third green flag, red flag question, Chase Elliott will go winless in the regular season at road courses. Green flag or red flag? Aaron, let's start with you.
I'm gonna go green flag. Just because there have been so many new contenders at road courses this year, like Ross Chastain, like Daniel Suarez, the whole Trackhouse team. Buescher coming out of freaking nowhere to be competitive road courses. Tyler Reddick even besting him at Road America, which should have been Chase Elliott's, but a slow pit stop pretty much gave it away. I'm gonna go green flag. I'm gonna say, yeah, he's gonna go winless on road courses in this season, at least in the regular season. They may get back together in the chase when they absolutely need to, but as of right now, yeah, I'm gonna say green flag. It's totally possible.
What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to say green flag too. It used to be we didn't have that many people who are that good at road courses, and now we got a whole bunch of people. Austin Cindric, of all people, has the best average finish at road courses. We've seen Tyler Reddick win not once but twice. We've got Chris Buescher with an average finish inside the top 10. I just think there are so many people that are so competitive at road courses right now, and I think Elliott's certainly not off his game, but I just feel like it's not going to happen for him at Watkins Glen this time. I'm going a different direction, and I will reveal my pick when we get to that. But I'm saying, yeah, he has a good finish, but he does not have a great finish, or as in a win. So, yeah, I'm going to say green flag here.
Dang it, everyone. I will say this. I was going to pick green flag, but since everyone else did it, I'm going to say red flag. I think he gets it done at Watkins Glen. And I know we're talking about this is his last shot to win at a road course in the regular season. I still think he gets it done. He has the best average finish. We're heading to a track that we haven't run on, not only in the new car, but since COVID started. So experience matters, in my opinion. So I think when you look at it, he can get it done. But moving on to the last green flag, red flag segment, or question, excuse me. Chandler Smith jumped the restart at the start of stage 2 and should have been penalized. Tom, go ahead and roll the video for everyone to see, and then we'll
actually,
say
I'm
our
going to have
thoughts.
Aaron do that. Can you roll that other video, Aaron?
Perfect.
He only lost 2 spots, so kudos to the crew for getting in.
So the control car is Chandler Smith, or is John Hunter Nemechek on the inside? That is Chandler Smith on the outside, who is not the control car. And it shows it a couple of times here, so you can get a good look at it. You can just let it run, Aaron. It'll show it again. Okay. Or maybe it's going to freeze.
Uh-oh.
Okay, yeah, there we go. One more time for the audience.
He only lost 2 spots, so kudos to the crew for getting in and out despite that issue with the jack man.
This one's already ahead, and then the camera changes, and then he's just already out front.
All right, so what do you guys think?
Well, Tom, let's start with you. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I think he jumped it. I mean, when you look at this, coming through out of turn 4, he was already half a truck ahead. How are you half a truck ahead of the truck that is the control car? And then when you look at the control car and John Hunter Nemechek, and if you want to make the argument, well, maybe he spun his tires or something, nobody got stacked up behind him. And you look at the gap that Chandler Smith put on the guy who was second in the outside row, that would indicate that, you know, if John Hunter Nemechek had spun the tires, then not just Chandler Smith goes by him, but whoever is the second car on the outside row goes by too. I think there's no doubt he jumped the start. And he was half a truck ahead before they entered the restart zone. I don't know how you can get away with that, but to me, NASCAR blew this call. That was a restart violation, in my opinion, no doubt about it. This is a restart violation in my opinion.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Aaron?
I don't know, because I never got a good look at the initial the initial go of the restart. But just the fact that Chandler Smith was already, again, like Tom said, about half a truck ahead of John Hunter Nemechek before they even took the green flag. Yeah, I'm gonna say it was more than likely a jump that NASCAR completely missed. I don't know how they missed that one, but again, NASCAR and inconsistency is like peas and carrots; they go together. So I'm gonna say, he more than definitely jumped it.
Yeah, he definitely jumped in. Should have been penalized. I can't believe NASCAR missed that. That's as blatant as it gets. I mean, I think, oh man, who was the last driver to be penalized for something like this in Cup? I think it was it Martin Truex Jr. or I think it was Martin Truex Jr. And it wasn't even. It was so close, and I was shocked that they kind of did it, but. This is, like you said, half a car length and entering the restart zone. We haven't even entered the restart zone. You're already ahead on the outside. Some drivers like to slow down while they're in the restart zone. But typically, if you do that, then that means you're for sure going to get passed, because the control car will just wait till you have to slow down a little bit to get alongside him and just take off and beat you off the line. And this is not what happened at all. I mean, when he crossed the start finish, he's already almost a full truck length ahead. Yeah, this is cut and dry. I can't believe NASCAR missed it. And I think it gave the win to Chandler Smith.
Yeah, I think it did, because he led every lap after that, and we saw what clean air would do. I love my chorus comment, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the direction that NASCAR is going in. If it's more entertaining, then screw the rulebook. So
it's the same crap that forced drivers to retire like that. So yeah, I don't like it at all.
Same shit that forced car drivers to retire.
Yep. Yeah, but that is the green flag, red flag segments for this week. Pretty good questions.
Okay. All right, we are up to now our picks for next week. So, Aaron, just in case you lag out, let's get you in here with your picks for next week at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I should be good now, which again, I'm terribly sorry about all of that. It seems like as soon as I hit go live, my computer just took a nosedive. Anyway, for my picks, I will go with the man, the myth, the legend that is the Allmendinger, AJ Allmendinger. I mean, he's in the race. It's at a road course. Why would I not pick him? And for my dark horse, I'm going to go with Michael McDowell. He's been very competitive at road courses as of late. He's shown a little bit more progress. He's kind of fell off the last few weeks, but I think at Watkins Glen, he will kind of make a little bit of a bounce back. I won't say he's going to win the race, but just with the fact that Fords are starting to get more competitive now, of course, the road course, anything can happen in road courses this year, apparently. I mean, why not Michael McDowell? So those are my picks. And I'll probably get wrecked out lap 1.
Okay. All right, Zach, who have you got?
All right, for my who's hot, I'm gonna go with the obvious. I'm gonna go with Chase Elliott, Mr. 1.5 in the past 2 races that's been there that we've held there. So Chase has led 44.4% of all the laps in the past 2 events at Watkins Glen with 1 win and 2 top 5s. He's been nothing but awesome at this track. I don't see how you can go wrong with him. Second, he's done really well at all the road courses this season, pretty much. Hasn't really had the normal finishes that we've seen, consistent top 5s out of him at all the road courses. We haven't seen him win yet. And I think he's long overdue for a road course win. So I definitely think that he gets it done here at Watkins Glen. And then as far as my dark horse, I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. And this is why. RFK, Chris Buescher has shown that they have speed on road courses. Even Brad Keselowski did really well at Sonoma. Brad Keselowski has 3 runner-up finishes at Watkins Glen and a 3rd place finish at Watkins Glen. Over the past 6 events, he has led in all but 2 of them. So I think that he could get it done, especially with how well RFK has done. They're going to put an emphasis on this road course and the final 2 races of the season. But I think that he could get it done here. Okay. And he started on the pole last time we were here. So just letting you know.
Okay. All right, I am going with Tyler Reddick. Top 5 finishes, 3 of the last 4 road courses, including 2 wins. I think he wins at Watkins Glen, gets his 3rd win of the year, all on road courses, and kind of puts a flag in the ground, says, I am the new king of road courses here. So I am going with Tyler Reddick as my winner. As my dark horse, I debated this, and I thought about changing my pick at the last minute. But I am going to say, Zach, you have got the right organization, but the wrong driver. I'm saying it is going to be RFK, but my dark horse is Chris Buescher. Finished 2nd at Sonoma, 6th at Road America, and coming off an extremely strong 2nd place run at Richmond. So he's got some momentum. So I'm saying Chris Buescher is my dark horse.
All right. There you go.
Okay. All right, so we are up to our parting comments. Has anybody got anything that they want to jump in here with, or do you want me to kick things off?
Go ahead.
I'll say kick it off, Tom.
Okay. All right, for my parting comment, I am going to try to do another screen share here. And for my parting comment, if I can get this to pop up here, I want to give a shout out to somebody we have all raced with online. That is Stevie Throop, known in the Xbox gaming world as Optic Goblin, getting his first ever feature win in a mod light at East Bay Raceway. And if you know anything about dirt track racing, and especially in the state of Florida, East Bay, I think, is outside of Tampa, but like it is a famous dirt track. There's been some great drivers come through there. It hosts some big events. So if you can put your name out as a feature winner at East Bay, that is quite an accomplishment. So I want to give a shout out to Stevie Throop. Congratulations getting his first ever feature win this past Saturday at East Bay Raceway in a mod light. So congratulations, Stevie. Way to go. Happy for you, bud.
Absolutely.
Way to go, man.
So that is my parting comment.
All right, Zach, going to go next?
Zach, let's go with you.
Sure. Yeah. Man. I'm just gonna say this. I'm very excited for Kimi Räikkönen to start at Watkins Glen, get in a cup car again. I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people. He does have stock car experience, and with KBM and I believe KBM again in the Xfinity Series, they did like a one-off with Nimco Motorsports. So he has experience getting in and out of a pit box. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, potentially compete for a top 10 position. If not, dare I say maybe top 5, especially in the Trackhouse car. So very excited. I'm so happy that Trackhouse is doing this and we get exposure from drivers all around the world. And yeah, I'm super excited to see how he does.
All right, Aaron, what about you?
Zach took mine. Okay, I guess my white flag, I just want to say, just again, terribly sorry for what happened. Again, like I hovered over the go live button for our StreamYard broadcast, and my computer just took a nosedive. It was running fine before that, so I guess I need to go out and pick up like a 100-foot Ethernet cable and plug this daggum thing in. But I guess my parting comments, I just got to say, just like having y'all here. I would not put in that much effort to try and get against the podcast if I didn't enjoy it. And you guys, the co-hosts here, make this podcast just a lot more fun. You guys in the comments make this show a lot more fun. So I hope to. So yeah, it's my white flag, the little cop out white flag. But hey, even though it's cop out, it's not. That doesn't mean it's not true. So.
Well, Aaron, I'm glad you feel that way because we're docking your pay for the time you missed on the show.
Yeah.
Dadgummit.
Yeah, we're gonna split it between Tom and I.
Okay, to be fair, it was okay. All right. You'll hear from my lawyer.
File a grievance with you. Contact your union rep and file a grievance, but we're docking your pay.
I will.
There's no unions here. We don't allow unions here.
Well, guess what? There is now.
Loose lug nut union.
We're gonna make you live up to that volunteer name logo on your shirt. We're making you a volunteer employee.
You chose to be here.
All right. With that, I think we are done for the night.
Yes.
So if there are any lawyers watching this, I'm sure you'll figure out a way to contact Aaron to help him with his grievance. Rebecca's saying she'll take his cut of the profits.
Okay, babe, come on. I thought you were on my team. All right, guys.
Okay. All right,
Y'all
with that, I think we are done.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
See you next week.
All right, guys, take care.